Hello, everyone. This is BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today we are here with Coach Caren Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada, in the house. Oh, Coach, it's just such a blessing when we get an opportunity to speak with you because you always have so much um, great information and you pour such wisdom into us. So
Thank you.
I am, I'm, in, I'm admonishing everybody to get their pencil and paper out, your pen and paper, and get ready to take some notes because we know it's going to really, really benefit us in our personal lives and in our businesses.
Mhm.
Coach Caren is our money coach. So today we're going to be talking about you and your money.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And it's just having the right mindset to support that. So this is the love month. So I just want you to love on your mind and appreciate how you can use it for your own good and then to help others. And it really starts with us. We really have to put in that time. Um, and it's not like it was been all the time. You just have to put in that time cultivating this behavior, really, just behavioral change, and then you notice a difference. So today we're talking about, what have you mentally blocked? Because last week we talked about creating, and lots of time we're paralyzed and we can't create because of this mental blockage. So that's what we're going to look into today. And so I'm going to surf up a couple of questions and we're going to talk around that.
Okay.
So, what is holding us in bondage? It's usually lies, trust, and looking. At least those are the three things I'm going to talk about. There's so much more we could talk about, but I'm talking about these three because these three is so important and you know about them. You've done them, I've done them, and my hopes is us having these constant conversation, and we take it and actually use it for the purpose it's for. So lies, we tell ourselves those lies that we tell ourselves, that's why we can't move on. Trust. We granted to we are granted people, we trust people that we shouldn't have. And when we do that, we start not trusting ourselves. But we don't even realize it's because of trust we put in people that sometimes rebound and make us not trust ourselves. Because when you're a trustworthy person, it's easy for you to trust. But then somebody dumps something on you, and now you start asking yourself if you're not a good judgment of character, could you really trust what's happening? And truly looking at you for what you stand for. Every time somebody asks you to find your why, they're asking you also, what are you standing for? Like,
Uh,
what are you standing for? Because when
mhm.
you stand for something, nobody can move you but God because you're standing for it. And if it come from him, you don't have to go question around. You're not looking for any validation. You're standing in your truth, even if you didn't make a dime. I was watching this guy on TikTok last year and he was talking about that. He said, everybody want to take a picture with me when they see me because he was in some YouTube thing. I don't follow him, so I don't know, but he was talking about it. And he said, I was on Facebook, and then people get and say Facebook doesn't work or different things. And he goes, every platform work. It's what you're doing there. He said, I would hold Facebook Live when Facebook Live first started. And he said, nobody would show up. But I committed to 15 minutes
Mhm.
daily, Monday to Friday, and said I'd show up with no audience. And he said, then I move it to 20 minutes, and people say I'm crazy. I should do less because nobody's showing up. And he said, then I got to 30 minutes, and I would do 20 minutes with what I came to talk about, and then I would do 10 minutes with question and answer. And he said, mind you, there's nobody to ask me a question. So I'd come with three questions, and if nobody asks, I'll just answer those three questions. And he said, one full year he was on Facebook Lives, and he said maybe 5, 10, 15, if he's lucky, would show up. And then over time they'll fall off and you would show up. He said, year two, he said, you would never forget, he said, year two, he had 20 people on one live and everybody was hackling him, his friends, because he was jumping up and down for these 20 people. And they're like, 20 people, dude, 20 people, it's nothing. And he said he reached out to all the 20 people, thanked them in the messenger, and let them know he appreciated that those 20 people came and spend the whole 30 minutes with him and then
Mm.
ask him what he could do for them. And he said he had his YouTube channel now starting, so he was doing the combination. And he said on year three, I finally had 100 people showed up for my live. And everybody was raving, 100 people, and they stayed. But he said, it's because I spend those times with nobody. The God was allowing me to craft my message, make sure it's right, make sure it's good to deliver, and watching to see if I really want to do in what I say I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Am I really looking to the people or looking to what God put in my heart to do? And sometimes
Mm.
that is hard when there's no human feedback, there's no human clapping, cheering you on.
Yes. No cheerleader, no coach. Yeah.
Just you following what you were inspired to do. And I'm going to bring it around to business. That's what happens, to us in business. We start a business and everybody around you is telling you that in 3 months, a year, they made $100,000, and they go off with the figures, five, whatever figure they decide to tell you. And now you're like, why am I not making that in my first year? But the truth is, you don't know how many years they were doing this. So you're thinking that's what's happening. Also, let me not say that this can't happen. Some people in 3 months, they will make that $100,000. But
Mm-mm.
what happens to those people? Nobody ever investigate. They fall off because I'm going to tell you, being a money person, when you make a lot of money and you're not expecting it, you
Mm-hmm.
dip. The minute you made the money that you want to make, something happened in your brain, and we're talking mindset. Something happens, and you think some part of you, I don't care how little, you made it. And
Uh,
once you think you made it, you relax. You take a step back. You lose focus, consistency.
mm, mm.
And then you try to get it back the next year or when to do it again, and then it doesn't happen.
Wow.
Because when it happened that sudden, so never worry about it happening fast. Taking the time to build up is the best. It's like working out. If you can't do anything, walk for 10 minutes. I
Mm-hmm.
tell people, I said, I don't care about the gym. I don't care outside cold. Walk in your house, around the steps, up and down the stairs. If you don't have stairs, round
Yes.
and around. When I used to open the daycare, when I had a daycare and it's so cold, we can't take the kids outside, I would have them running around the house, running around the daycare center. I mean, those kids were so happy about doing that. There's days when they're like, Miss Caren, when are we going to do the run again? And if you start thinking of yourself as a kid, then you'll see the joy in just running around
Yes.
that place. You don't look at it as who's looking at me, you're just running around. And that's
Mm.
what you need to see. So when you start building up, you understand the struggle you went through. Also, the biggest thing about struggle that maybe docs don't talk about, it's giving you material to use later.
Mm.
Our struggle gives us the material we need to use later on. Every single struggle gives you the material you need for later on. Every struggle. I don't care how hard it is. It gives you, and it gives you to give to somebody. This is the
Mm.
thing, the other thing. It gives you, and then you now should give it to somebody. That's what it's for. And it show up in the form of teaching, mentoring, coaching.
There you go.
If you don't have those things, what are you going to give to somebody?
Wow.
How are you going to help them? How are you going to help them move forward and get somewhere? Every time somebody said, I have an idea, but I have no money to do it, I said, no, 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 no. You have an idea. Get up and do it. But I don't have any money to do it. Get up and do it and allow the money to come. Get up and do it and allow the people to come.
You know what, Coach? When you said that, I just thought about things. When we have things that we feel we must get done, putting a kid through college, paying for a wedding, um, graduations, things that we feel are a must on the timeline for other people, we sit down and we figure out how to make that happen.
Yes.
I'm talking about as parents.
Yes.
We
Yes. For
figure out how
sure.
to make that happen. Uh, and we know when we start that brain dump that we don't have a clue.
Not a clue.
But we know it's coming and we know the date is not going to change.
Exactly. And we make it happen. And we make it happen. This is the reason why I say your business should be your first client. Name her. My friend Denise, she loved to laugh at me because I name things like crazy. I just name things when I was billing out my membership. I give them names because
Mhm.
then I can go show up and actually work on it. Like I would sit there and say, I'm working on K Star today. I'm working on Mrs. Golden stuff. And I would sit there and I work on her stuff. So it takes me out of the picture and I'm working for her. So if it's hard for you to work for yourself, then
Mhm.
give it a name. When I give those ladies a name, I'm working for those ladies. You understand? So when I get to work, when I get to the computer and I'm writing out the program, it's for the specific name that I give it to you. So everything I do is around how she like it, how she want to see it. I don't think I'm doing her good service. How can I change that? Sometimes I scrap the whole thing because she didn't want all this confusion I'm putting in. It's coming from Caren. But what she really wants is clear and precise and just getting to the point. And I remember writing a whole program, and I was so mad with myself because my computer that I had at the time went kaput, and I couldn't retrieve everything. I carried to this guy, and he said he's gonna fix it, $100 and something. And I sat with myself for about 2 weeks, and I could have paid it. My mom even offered. She said, "Kind, let me pay for it for you." And I said, Mom, let me think about this. Maybe the reason the computer's not working is because the stuff I was doing in there is not needed anymore. Maybe I thought it is. And it took everything inside of me not to pay to get the material. And then I opened a book I had and I realized I'd written everything before I put it in the computer, so it was there. And when I reread the whole program, Terry, I took it away. I
Mhm.
didn't think it, I didn't want to use it, and maybe I never would use it. Who knows? But what I knew at the time, that program was being written so that I can get these things out of me to get the next thing that I really wanted to write. And when I was able to give up writing a whole program and say, this is not the program I want to bring to fruition, but I want to do the next was much easier than writing the first. The first was to, just like we said, brain dump. The first was to get it out of me. The first was to showcase I could do it. The first was to, let's go about my list. The first was for me to debunk the lies that I told myself that I couldn't write a program. So that was the first. The second thing was to trust myself and don't worry about anybody else, that I could do it. And the third was for me to look inside truly and see what I wanted to bring to the storefront.
Mhm.
And once I was able to do that, I was able to move that off the table and then do what I'm supposed to do. And then I get it done.
Wow.
I
Wow.
get it done. And it's hard.
I think it's very different. Well, let me rephrase this. How do we identify the lies? Because we've told them to ourselves so long that to us they appear as truth.
Yes.
So
Yes.
how do we identify those lies?
Well, the lies that we tell ourselves when we're in bondage is the easy one. So I'll start with the easy one. The easy lies are nobody's going to buy it from me. It's too expensive and it's going to take too much time. Those are like the favorite lies of everybody who ever had a business. At some
Mhm.
point, you tell yourself that lies. And to debunk those lies is to actually go out and get a sale. So somebody would buy it. Or if it's still not selling, how do I tweak it so it could be sold, whatever that thing is that we're selling, you
Mhm.
know. And once you start doing that, you start getting traction and it helps you. Now, for every lie that we tell ourselves, and we all do it, the biggest lie is about time. I don't have enough time. And if I would manage my time better, I can do more. No, if you manage you better, you have all the time in the world. How do you manage yourself? Like, do you gaze away at TikTok, my guilty pleasure? I literally have to time myself. I'm going to be on TikTok for 10 minutes and I set a timer. I'm a timer queen. I will literally set 15 minutes and when it beep, I turn it off. Didn't matter what I want to see
Mhm.
because I'm managing myself and I'm not letting the time manage me. Let me give you the reverse. I'm on TikTok, half an hour went by, I'm just keep scrolling. They come up and they say, you're still scrolling. TikTok have some people that comes up and say, you're still scrolling, you need to get off of TikTok now. I'm like, you can tell me what to do? So I stay for another 10 minutes, another 15 minutes. An hour went by and I'm on TikTok. In that hour, I had promised myself to study one of my programs or promised myself to go and learn something on YouTube, or I had promised myself that I was going to work on graphics in Canva for an hour. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I can't get back that hour. I just sold that hour away for nothing. And I would explain to myself that I needed the downtime. Lies. I needed this time. If I truly needed downtime, then I should be doing something wonderful for myself with that downtime. Did I read
Mm-hmm.
a book? Did I go for a walk? Did I spend some time with the Lord? What did I really, if I really truly wanted that time? But
Mm-hmm.
I'm so used to lying to myself about that stuff that I just keep doing it like it's nothing. And then
Wow.
at the end of the week, I lost about 5 to 10 hours.
Hmm.
I can't get it back. But I will explain to me why it was okay. And then I will get collaboration from my mom, my daughter, my good friend. Yes, Karen girl, you need a lot of rest. Girl, take as much rest as you want. So the lie keep blowing up into this thing. And then when I look around, it's a whole month of a pack of lies.
I deserve to rest.
Now, if you deserve to rest, go rest. Go close your eyes and actually rest.
Mm-hmm.
Go be quiet and rest. Because as I say, when we're watching TV or we scrolling around, the brains are going around, how much rest are we really getting? How
Mm-hmm.
much rest? I go back into, and yes, we're big girls, like I said, I go back into my rest when I used to rest from Guyana. And when I'm resting, I'm not answering the phone. You know, I am closed. I am literally reading a book or just resting my brain, body, and soul. The rest these days is not really rest for most people.
Mm-hmm.
They find other things to do and they take the rest. I was listening to Jim Ron just when he's talking about it. They're at work wishing they could be at home. And then when they get home, they wish they could be at work. And when they go on a vacation, they want to show everybody that their work is so important to our business. They walk with a laptop and then they do work on the vacation. And then they
Mm-hmm.
answer people on vacation. You're not on vacation. When I'm on vacation, A, I'm not walking with a laptop. B, I don't even tell where my phone is. It's only if me and my family separated or we have to do something that I have it on me. They get really upset with me because I don't look at it because I'm
Mm-hmm.
on vacation. Why do I want that rest on vacation and enjoyment? So that when I come back, I am not whining about the job when I was at work. Most people whine on their job, not because they don't love it or like it or what have you. It's because they're not giving the job the time that it needs, whatever time it needs.
Mm-hmm.
They complain about what's happening around them and the people around them and what's going on with the boss and how much money they're not making and all these stuff that's happening. And I'm not telling you that those things are not true. But what I'm telling you is you dedicate so much time to those things that you can get your work done. And when
Mm-hmm.
you open a business, you do the very same thing in your
Oh,
business.
wow.
Every time a person comes to me for coaching, they're like, I want to leave my job and I really want to work from home. And I start asking them about their discipline and start asking them about rest and sleep and what does it have to do with anything? Well, if you don't get those things, your business is not going to really shine. I'm just being honest with you because it's dedication
Mm-hmm.
and you got to trust yourself. So you can't, and this was a client of mine, you can't open a salon at 10, but you show up at 11 because you spend all night up idle and then your body didn't get enough rest, so you can't wake up in the morning. And when you do, you're scrambling to
Mm-hmm.
get there. And now you had 3 clients waiting on you. You have your 10 o'clock, you got your 10:30, and your 11 o'clock. And now you're opening the salon. And then you wonder why in a couple of weeks you don't have enough clients to pay the bill.
Because
But
they have something to do too.
right. But you mightn't tell you and I that. So you'll just say my salon is not making money anymore. But did you waste a lot of time? Did you waste a lot of time not managing yourself and your business? And did
Mm-hmm.
you lie to yourself? More importantly, did you lie to yourself that it's okay? Did you make an excuse and lie to yourself that it's okay? And I lie to myself. So I'm saying it right here. I'm not trying to be that I wouldn't do it and I haven't done it. But when I caught myself, I literally write me a note about it. Karina, why did you lie about wasting the time? What was happening? What was really holding you? What was causing you to not do it? Was it fear? Did you think you couldn't do it well? So you hide? What were you doing? And I really want to answer it. Sometimes I can't answer it right away, but I go back and look and answer it. And I need to answer it so I don't find myself going down that hole.
Mm.
Because I have done it. When my cleaning company was doing about 9 to 10 grand a month, after a couple of years, I felt so great and proud of myself. I wish I should be. But I wasn't making phone calls like I used to anymore. I was just setting people out and I was just sitting down doing that. And Terry, I spent a couple of days just scrolling Facebook, doing absolutely nothing. I
Mm.
sabotage myself like you wouldn't believe it. That's why when I say these things is I've lived it. Sabotage myself because the money's coming in. I could pay my bills. I don't know anything. I'm doing great. And I start lying to me.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
I start lying to myself. And when I caught myself, I think I lose a couple of clients. And God always give you the nudge. He was talking to me about this stuff that I was wasting time, but I was justifying it. I was justifying it like crazy. And then when I lost about, I think I was about 12 clients.
Whoa.
Boom, 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 boom. It feels like right away. It wasn't right away, but I was losing my. I was like, I start advertising again, but I was still secretly lying about other little things that I was catching myself doing. And I'll caught myself in the act, but then I'll do it again. I'll caught myself in the act, and I'll find all the excuses of why I was doing it. This is the thing. We're good at excuses. This buddy upset me. This is why this is happening. That's what is happening. None of those people asked me to be in business. I choose to be in this business.
Mm-hmm.
And although those things might have been true and I might have been hurt or what might be happening, I need to go fix that and not put that on the business because the business was my bread and butter.
Uh-huh.
And I was literally sabotaging the business. Matter of fact, two of my girls at the time was saying they needed more hours. I couldn't give them more hours because I wasn't actively growing my company anymore, which means I didn't have enough hours for them, and then they had to go off and get side jobs. And now when I have big jobs to bring them back, it's hard because they're not trusting me enough to give up that because I am not giving them the 40 hours, the 30.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? People
Yeah.
got the bills to pay. I was letting them down. I wasn't only letting down myself. I was letting them down. And I had to take some time off and really go deep to see what was the deep cause. And because something was said to me about success, I had it so deep inside me, but I didn't know. They had said to me, very close to me, that if I was successful, I was going to lose them. And I took it to heart. And I was so afraid to lose them that I was sabotaging my success.
Yeah.
But I didn't know initially. So you really got to go look to see. Sometimes you need counseling, sometimes you need coaching. You got to really go see if it's really deep and you're sabotaging yourself. When I recognized that I was afraid of going past a certain number because then they would know and they would somehow not like me anymore. I didn't know how people pleasing I was until that scenario happened. I would say I was strong. I didn't really need people. I like people, but I really need them. But I was so needy in this specific area with where I was that I was willing to not make enough to be in the presence of.
Okay. I, I think a lot of people have been there. Good morning, Cecilia.
Morning, Cecilia.
Where we sabotage our businesses for the sake of relationships.
Yes. Yes.
I'm not getting enough time with you. I need more mommy time. I need more, wife time. I need more spouse time, whatever.
Yeah.
And we do. We say, okay, fine. The business is great. I don't have to worry about it. It's on autopilot. And okay, so here's my time.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, you're stressed out because you can't take care of them because you don't have the income coming in that allowed you to enjoy that relationship at the level that they wanted it.
Exactly. And they still have their job because they're not in business. So they're still going to work and getting a paycheck. Mm-hmm. And because they're at work, they don't understand what happened in business and how it has to, and they don't want to. And it's okay. But then you now have to build that back up. You then have to fix that. So now you're fixing two things. And let me tell you, people talk about, getting out of there and all things hard. Sabotaging yourself when you're being successful or getting there, it's one of the hardest things to build back up from,
Mm-hmm.
because the lies and the trusting and the looking around, to me, it's double than when I had nothing and trying to build, because now I'm just building and that's all I want to do. So what do you say or do doesn't bother me. But now, because I know I've had it and I know where I've been, and
Mm-hmm.
I allow this stuff to happen to me, part of me don't forget. So I'm overcome it, but I still see little evidence and little residue of me falling back at different times. And I have to be diligent on myself. That's the reason I talk about journaling so much, because I could journal about it. I could be present in it and understand, hey, Caren, you're falling off the ladder again. You're getting where you want to be and you're allowing this to intrude and you're not going forward. And I get to see me faster. Those days I would write here and there, but journaling, I find, has helped me to really understand that I could be successful and I can have certain relationships. And if they need to leave, then it's their time. Theirs and my time is up, and it's okay.
Wow.
That is, that part of me, I'm gonna miss it, but it's okay. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay. I go back to my why. How many people I plan on helping, what I want to do for my family, what I want to do for me, how is this stuff going to look? And I've got that written down, and I go back again, my why, to see those things in order. And if I allow myself, then I can get to this stuff. So, okay, we got to keep moving forward. And again, if you need to rest, and I say this, if you need a good rest, go rest. If you need vacation, bill it in, put it in, say, I'm on vacation for the next 2 weeks, and then take the vacation.
Mm.
That don't
Take.
mean you can't come on Facebook, but
Yeah.
take the vacation. Don't try to post anything. Don't try to do anything. Try to just enjoy the time. Go to the museum. Things are opening back up. Go do whatever makes you happy. Go on a show. Go do something really good for yourself. Get a massage. Go to the spa. Whatever it is you need to do for you, because you built in and you work your business and things are going great, you got the money to do those things. That's the other thing. You wouldn't have any money to do those things if you're not building your business to get there to do those things.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. I see it all the time. Mm.
And the cycle is vicious.
It is that. It is that. So when we talked about lies, we talked about trust. What is this looking thing?
Because we're always looking. We're looking for the cheerleaders. We're looking for people to,
Mm-hmm. We're
you
looking for
know,
support. We're
yeah,
looking
we're looking for what people should tell you to do.
for
We're looking for
affirmation,
direction. Yes, we're looking for what our neighbor
approval.
is doing. Hmm?
We're looking for approval.
Approval, yeah, big one. We're looking for approval. That's a big one. And truly, truly, you don't need anybody to approve anything for you. Nothing. Even if a kid, kids don't need approval, but we think we have to give it to them and they look forward to it. You do not need approval. You need to go do it. I want to go over my time a little bit here, talk a little bit. My grandmother was the one who told me that. She says, Karen, whether you go to school or you don't go to school, I don't care, because you're not going for me. And it was such a hard statement, a harsh statement. But that statement has always stayed with me, because she said, who is you educating yourself for? And then when you get the education, who is it going to help? It's you can help me and care for me whether you are educated or not. But who is this going to help? How is this going to help you in life? Because when you understand that, you need to look to nobody. Your teachers, they're teaching, but you don't need to look to them. You need to learn and be there and observe, but you don't need to look to them to verify and say, Karen's a good student. Are you a good student? Then you're a good student. That's all that matters. You decide that you're a good student. You decide that you're a good person. Don't let anybody tell you that you're not. Don't wait to get somebody to cheer you on. She was never good at cheering you on. You're just like, so you did it good. Good for you. But then when you get to the point where you believe, and I didn't notice that. I didn't notice that then. I couldn't tell you that then. I was pissed with her. I was so mad. But when I got older, and I had my son, I was about 26. And she says, Karen, I want to tell you something. I so admire you. I'm like, hmm? She's like, yes. Everything that I've told you that you couldn't do, we didn't do, and people like us can do, you have done. Because you've never let me dictate what you could do. So you did listen. You did listen. In a roundabout way, she was getting me to believe in myself so strongly that you could be chipping away at me. I would still believe in Karen. Did I dip? Did I fall? Lots of times. Lots and lots of times. But it really made me know that everything I do was for me. So even when she give me some hard tests, and I mean hard tests, I don't want to give it to nobody, but it make me really believe in me, really believe that I could do it. And still, after all that foundational work, I tell you, when the person said to me that we won't be able to be in a relationship because of my successes, I still dip. I still dip because we're humans. We're humans. And when the people are close to you, when they're close to you,
Yeah, they can influence you, that's for sure. They can make you make some different decisions
girl,
that you would not have made under other circumstances.
mhm,
So we have to be aware
I have to be aware
of these little lies
of
and
this.
aware of misplaced trust
Yes.
affecting our decisions today.
Yes. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And stop looking around for someone to
Yeah.
say you're doing a
Stop.
great
Stop
job.
looking around. Stop looking around for that. And I tell people I coach them, I said, if you're coming to get coaching from me, you're gonna have to stop listening to other people. Because if you listen to them, you can't do the work we're gonna do together.
They're just, that's another thing. People don't have a lot of different voices. Do not have multiple voices because at some point they're going to conflict.
Mhm.
Also, it's just too much coming in.
It's too much. It's too
Your
much.
sensory can only take in so much.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why if you're going to be a big business person, you're going to build a team. And let's say you had a bookkeeper, an accountant, a lawyer, you had a coach, and you had whatever. You want all those people to coincide. You don't want to just have them hiding from each other. You
Mm.
want them to coincide so that they can make a good, they can really build out your story so it supports you versus they supporting just you. They're understanding that when the bookkeeper comes in, she needs to have everything categorized. They understand when the accountant comes in, she's just auditing things and looking after your taxes. The lawyer's seen over all the contracts and everything is great. And your coach is making sure that you're looking after yourself, which expand into your business. You understand? You have to, and those people need to communicate that with each other. You have to have them there. Big companies have those meetings with all those people at the table because they want them to know what the other is doing for that individual, for that company. And even though we're small, we have to start thinking about that. So if you got a coach and you have an accountant, you have that. Even though they don't have to meet on a regular, you want them to understand how we're helping this company. What are we doing with this company? What happens when we meet and how it affects it overall?
Mm.
How it affects it overall. It's like a mom and a dad, you need to talk so that you know that the kids are getting the best of the best. And the same goes for your business. Once you start bringing in the professionals, you need to have them. And the ones that don't want to talk to the ones because they're too busy, those are not your peeps. Those are not to be, if they don't want to be on the team, then they don't need to be with you. They need to be on the team.
Wow. That is phenomenal. All right, guys, you heard it here. You need a team, and that team needs to be cohesive and willing to participate in team activities.
Mhm.
So stop telling yourself the lies, trust yourself, and stop
Yes.
looking around for approval. And let's get this business started. Guys, thank Coach Caren for these nuggets today. I hope you took plenty of notes. We want to give a shout out to our super fan, Cecilia.
Yes, Cecilia. Girl.
On the replay, we want to thank you for your time. And remember, it's okay to be successful and take time to go to the front of your
Of
own
your own line. Yes.
life. Have a good day. All right, we'll see you soon. Bye bye, everyone. Bye bye, Coach.